Hey YouTube, um, coming to you guys tonight. Many of you have probably already seen this, but I just finished watching the documentary called Food Inc. And I'm pretty much horrified. You know, many of you probably were when you watched it. The fact that, you know, farmers are being bullied, basically, into, doing what these big companies want is just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how my grandfather did it. I am someone who's grown up. Um, Both sets of grandparents have farms. My grandparents on my mother's side, my grandfather on my mother's side, was a professional farmer. That's what he did for his living. He's a farmer. They have they own, I want to say, 1,700 acres or so. I mean, I may have that a little wrong. But I do know that they basically rent out about 700 of that to another guy who uses it for farmland, I'm pretty sure. But the other 1,000 or so that they have left over, they use as farmland. They have free roaming cattle. My grandfather used to grow watermelons out in the back field. He's got a whole citrus grove. And I believe they do some hay baling, but the main thing that I know of is cattle, though, that they really deal with. But it's just something. Growing up with him, I mean, I'm guessing that I don't know how he's done his business. But growing up, going to grandpa's house was fun. I mean, there was a lot of land. We could do pretty much whatever we wanted out there. And I never once heard them complain about, the big industries taking over or anything. So I don't know that they ever dealt with that, but it's like watching this documentary and seeing so many other farmers having to deal with this. And if they talk to these people, if they talk to this documentary or whatever, they're going to lose their contract with some big company, basically lose their means of living because then they don't have, a distributor anymore. Excuse me, it's like 3:30 in the morning. It's just ridiculous. And, I'd been looking into buying organic and stuff like that for a while. I buy organic milk. And there's a couple other things that I look for organically, eggs, stuff like that. But I'm looking at going completely organic right now. I mean, it is ridiculous how bad those cattle places are that, supply the meat industry. It's ridiculous. I mean, seeing videos, seeing pictures, it's... my parents own, I don't know, 3 or 4 cows. I mean, not a lot, like maybe 7 tops. And they're free range. They just, they go around and eat the grass like they're supposed to. My parents give them feed and that kind of stuff, but they also give them, like the sweet blocks that you can give them, and it gives them nutrients and stuff like that. But for the most part, they're grass-fed. I mean, I think they have some corn, but mainly they're grass-fed, and they can just kind of munch on grass all day long. And that's what cows were meant to do. And part of it makes me want to become a farmer, even though I know I'm not exactly cut out for that lifestyle. Part of me really wants to make a stand somehow. So what I'd really like to do is, find a way that I can help out, what's going on with the other farmers, because it's ridiculous how they have to live. It's ridiculous that they have to watch their backs, everything they say to anybody, and how they do their business, because they can't save their own seeds now. It's ridiculous. They can't save their own seeds. They can't save the seeds from their personal crop, because a company that owns a genetically modified version of that seed will sue them for messing with their patent. It's bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. I mean, excuse my French, excuse my language, but it's bullshit. That's ridiculous. I can't believe that it's come to that. I can't believe that the Supreme Court has allowed companies to patent seeds. I mean, like, to some extent, I understand it, because it's like, okay, well, if they come up with this genetically modified version, their recipe for that seed or whatever, I get it. But, the way that they're using that patent and saying that the free market seeds and, seeds that they didn't have anything to do with, they're talking about, they're going to come sue you because you're not using their seed. And they're going to say that because you're not using their seed, but you're using your own seed, that you're messing with their patent. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. And they, even like, you could take that to court and probably win. But the problem is, farmers don't have enough money to take that crap to court. I mean, it showed it right there in the documentary. There were a couple people who went to court for it, but they all had to basically, come up with a settlement with the company because they couldn't afford their court costs. They never even got into the courtroom. It never even went to trial. It was all pre-trial stuff, and they couldn't afford the court costs. So they had to just settle. And that sucks. It's retarded. It's ridiculous. So, anyway, I'm really upset about that. It's kind of a personal thing because I grew up around farmers. I don't understand the hardships that they go through, especially with money and all that kind of stuff. So, bullying farmers is just not. It's just immoral beyond everything. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Beef companies suck, and corn companies suck, and I'm buying organic, and everyone else should too. And watch Food Inc. or read the book, because it's also a book. Yeah.